Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into something pretty amazing today. The human brain.
Incredible organ.
It is. Specifically how adaptable it is.
Oh.
Even in the craziest situations.
You'll never look at your brain the same after this, I guarantee it.
Okay, so imagine this. You're a firefighter, right?
Okay.
And you're stuck in a wildfire. Huge fire.
Oh, wow.
The heat is unbelievable. Smoke everywhere. Can't even see. And you have like a split second to decide what to do to survive.
Sounds terrifying.
It is. But the fascinating thing is, firefighters who've been through this, some of them say that it was like time slowed down.
Really?
Yeah. And they could think clearly, act fast, make these like really precise decisions.
I've heard of that, like time dilation rate. I bet God do that fight or flight response.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, like when your life's on the line, the amygdala like freaks out.
It's an SOS.
Amygdala, that's the emotional part of the brain, right?
You got it. So it's like, boom, adrenaline everywhere, heart's racing, senses are going haywire.
And makes you super aware. Exactly. And maybe all that adrenaline kicks the brain into overdrive, processes everything faster. Seconds feel like, I don't know, minutes.
So your brain's like, hold on, gotta focus.
Yeah.
And it just zooms in.
Something like that. Pretty wild, huh?
Totally. But okay, what about when it's not like immediate danger, but you're missing something you need to live?
Okay, I'm listening.
There's this sailor, Steve Callahan. His boat sank in the Atlantic. He was adrift forever.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so he barely had any food, and he started craving the weirdest stuff, like fish eyes and organs.
Fish eyes. Really?
I know, right? Things you'd usually never even think about eating.
I guess when you're that desperate.
It's more than just desperation. Our bodies are actually super smart about knowing what they need.
Oh, interesting.
So like if your brain realizes you're low on something, it can turn off that gross feeling.
So you don't starve.
Exactly. It can even make you enjoy those things because they got the nutrients you're missing.
That is so weird.
Right. Maybe that's why some people love spicy food, even though it burns.
Oh, good point. Because chili peppers, they have vitamin C. Maybe the brain's like, pain, schmain, we need that vitamin C.
So it's like tricking us into eating healthy.
In a way. I mean, our brains are always working to keep us going. It's pretty impressive.
Okay, but what if it gets even worse?
Yeah.
Like no food at all for a long time.
This is going to be good.
There's this guy, Jean-Luc. He got trapped underground in a cave for 35 days. No food at all.
Oh my gosh. How did he?
His brain basically put his body on extreme power-saving mode.
Wow.
It slowed everything down, his metabolism, everything, to use as little energy as possible.
Smart move.
And get this, it even started breaking down his muscles for fuel.
Whoa. That's dedication.
It's amazing how far our brains will go to keep us alive.
It makes you think, though, like, if the brain can do that in a crisis? Well, there's actually research on this, like reducing your calories on purpose. Not to that extreme, of course. But some studies show it might help you live longer.
Really? So our brains might already know the secret to a longer life.
It's possible. Shows how adaptable they are, even when it seems like a bad thing.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
For sure. Our brains are always looking for ways to adapt and win, no matter what.
So we've talked about these crazy survival things, but our brains are adapting all the time, right?
Absolutely. Even to everyday stuff.
Yeah, like even just being hot.
Heat can definitely mess with your brain.
Makes sense, but how does it actually deal with, like, extreme heat?
Good question. Imagine those NASCAR drivers.
Oh, yeah. In those cars, for hours, it's got to be like an oven in there.
It is. Plus, they have to stay totally focused with all those G-forces and everything.
Talk about pressure. How do they not, like, fry their brains?
Well, our bodies are pretty good at cooling themselves down.
Yeah, sweating, right.
Exactly. And your face and forehead, they have tons of blood vessels close to the surface, so they're super efficient at getting rid of heat.
So it's like a radiator.
Kinda, yeah. And there's some research suggesting that might actually help cool the brain down, too. It's called selective brain cooling. The idea is that the cooled blood from your face and forehead might flow near the arteries that go to your brain.
So it's like a built-in AC system for your brain. That's wild.
Pretty neat, huh? Keeps your brain working even when things are heating up around you.
I guess that makes sense. Surgeons, athletes, even just driving in rush hour. Keeping a cool head is important.
Oh, for sure. Helps you think clearly and make the right decisions.
But keeping your brain in top shape takes more than just temperature control.
True, true. We can't forget about sleep.
Sleep, so important, but I never really understood what's happening in my brain when I'm asleep.
A lot more than you might think. It's not just about resting your body. Your brain's busy cleaning up, organizing memories, making connections stronger.
Like a nightly reset button.
Something like that. Gets everything ready for the next day.
What about when you don't get enough sleep?
Well, think about this guy, David Hempelman Adams. He was trying to fly solo to the North Pole in a balloon.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
He tried to cut back on sleep to fly longer, but
Didn't work out so well.
not really. He started seeing things that weren't there, and his thinking got all messed up. Classic sleep deprivation.
Yikes. That's scary. Reminds you how important sleep really is.
Definitely. But sleep is more than just resting and cleaning up. There are also dreams.
Dreams. They can be so weird and vivid. Why do we even have them?
That's a question that's been around forever. We don't know for sure, but there are some interesting theories.
Like what?
One idea is that dreams help us organize our memories and process emotions. It's like your brain is sorting through everything that happened during the day.
Filing it away or tossing it out?
Exactly. And some think that all the crazy, illogical stuff in dreams might be a way for your brain to deal with difficult emotions or problems that you haven't figured out yet.
So, like, my brain is trying to help me even when I'm sleeping.
It's possible. And there's even evidence that dreams can spark creativity and help you come up with new ideas. Oh, yeah. Like Einstein, right? He had that dream about writing a beam of light, and it helped him come up with his theory of relativity.
Exactly. And there's the guy who invented the sewing machine, Elias Howe. He had a dream about being attacked by spears with holes near the tips, and that gave him the idea for the needle.
That's insane. So it's like our brains can make these crazy connections in our dreams that we wouldn't think of when we're awake.
And that's what makes them so fascinating. They might hold a lot more power than we realize.
It's like our brains have all these secret powers, right? Like
Right.
they know how to survive, they're creative, they can even sort things out while we sleep.
And we're just starting to scratch the surface of what they can do.
What if we could, tap into those powers on purpose? Train our brains to be even tougher, more creative.
You mean like level up our brains? That's the big question in neuroscience.
It is. And I've heard about this thing, lucid dreaming. Maybe that's a clue.
Lucid dreaming, yeah. That's definitely a fascinating area.
But what is it exactly? You know you're dreaming while you're in the dream? Right. And it's more than just, oh, hey, I'm dreaming. It's like you're in control. You can change things, face your fears, even practice stuff.
No way. Like a dream simulator.
Kinda, yeah. Imagine being able to work through something that's bothering you without, the real-world consequences.
That'd be amazing. But can you actually learn to do that?
More and more research says yes. It takes practice, but there are ways to, increase your chances of becoming lucid.
Like what?
One thing is to keep a dream journal. Write down your dreams as soon as you wake up.
Why?
It helps you pay more attention to them, see the patterns. Then you start to recognize when you're in a dream.
So like spotting the clues that it's not real life.
Exactly. And there are other techniques too, like checking if things are realistic during the day or visualizing before you fall asleep.
So you kind of prime your brain for dreaming.
Yep. Some people even use sounds or lights to trigger it.
Wow. So we could actually learn to shape our own dream worlds.
It's definitely a possibility.
That's incredible. And what's the point? What can you actually do with lucid dreaming?
Well, besides being super cool, it could be really helpful. People use it to get over nightmares, deal with anxiety, even practice for tough situations.
So like a dress rehearsal for real life.
Kinda. It shows just how much potential our brains have. We just gotta learn how to tap into it.
It's been an awesome journey today. We started with surviving wildfires and ended up talking about shaping our own dreams
It all comes back to the brain.
and how adaptable it is.
Exactly. Whether it's pushing through extreme situations or using the power of dreams, our brains are constantly evolving, figuring things out.
The big takeaway is our brains are amazing. They can do so much more than we give them credit for.
And the more we learn about them, the more we can unlock that potential.
So keep exploring, keep those brains working, and never underestimate what they can do. That's it for our deep dive today. Until next time, stay curious.